People are very worried, John, because it's hard to go anywhere around Bangkok or around Thailand and not see images of King Bhumibol, who is considered the soul of this nation. You can see the crowds here have doubled in the last 24 hours, people from within the city and also people coming in from the rural areas where the king is adored pretty much universally in this country. As you mentioned, he's been the monarch here for 70 years, since he was 18 years old, and now at age 88, he has a track record of bringing more education to the rural areas, of reforming this country's agricultural system. He and his wife have been married since 1950, Queen Sirikit, and there they are. People look at this couple as grandparents, but even more than that, they have almost risen above what you can consider as far as a family relationship, because this country, in a country that is so deeply divided, the king and the queen have really been a glue that has held Thailand together over more than a dozen military coups, at times even pulling this country back from the brink of civil war. And people have genuinely hoped and prayed that the king may be alive for another 30 years. He's the only king that the majority of the 65 million people who live here have known in their lifetime. And the thought of a succession is such an uncertain topic, because people, not only do they not really know what's going to happen when there's a new ruler who comes in, the heir would be the crown prince, but also people can't really talk about it openly because of the strict enforcement of this country's lèse-majesté laws, John.
And with that in mind, they're just not releasing a lot of details about precisely what is wrong.
That's right. We know that the king is being housed somewhere in this hospital building behind me, where he has been in and out of hospital for the better part of the last 5 years. The Thai people are used to health scares in regards to the king, but this one feels different because of the fact that all 4 of the royal children we know have now come to this hospital to visit with the king, the 3 princesses and the crown prince, who is believed to actually be in the hospital behind me right now, according to local media reports. The prime minister cut off a trip in Eastern Thailand to come here to meet with the crown prince. The crown prince flew back from Germany earlier than he had anticipated, and unlike previous health scares where the Royal Household Agency will say the king was ill but now he's better, the latest updates that they're putting out say that they have not been able to stabilize his condition, and so by all indications his health is a very major concern right now, which is why you see all of these people out here hoping and praying out loud, really, for their king to make a recovery.
And obviously, many people there feel concern for the king, but there is also reverberations, if you like, being felt in a very practical sense, in particular in the markets.
Yeah, the stock market just yesterday dropped by about 3%, and ever since the news broke within the last few days that the king's health is a major concern, we've seen the markets in a downward trend here, and there's a good reason for that. I mentioned how the king has essentially served as a unifying force in this very divided country. There have been several times over the course of his reign, his 70-year reign, where this country has been at the brink of civil war, and the king has been able to sit the two sides together and to smooth things out, even though he does try to stay out of politics. As the king has been infirmed in recent years, there has been more instability. There was the military coup in 2014, previously the military coup in 2006, just after the king celebrated his 60th anniversary of his reign. And there are fears here that perhaps the situation could destabilize if this unifying, calming force is not present. And so that's why you see the markets reacting in this way, because there's just so much uncertainty about how could anybody fill the shoes of somebody who is so revered here.